Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Dwarikesh Sugar Industries Q4 FY23 results conference call hosted by Dolat Capital. As a reminder, all participants' lines will be in a listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Tejas Sonawane from Dolat Capital. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bakrivan. On behalf of Dolat Capital, I would like to thank the management of Dwarikesh Sugar Industries Limited for giving us the opportunity to host their Q4 FY23 earnings call. From the management team, we have with us today Mr. Vijay Banka, Managing Director, Mr. B.J. Maheshwari, Managing Director and Company Secretary cum Chief Compliance Officer, and Ms. Priyanka Murarka, President Corporate Affairs. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the call to the management for their opening remarks, post which we will open the forum for a Q&A session. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah. Very good afternoon. I welcome you all to Q4 FY23 earning call conference. I'm very happy to be back amidst you. We have announced our results yesterday, so the results are already there in the public domain. I'll quickly run through the results. In this particular quarter, we have had a turnover of about 534 crores, which is as compared to 476 crores turnovers that we clocked in the corresponding quarter last year. For the full year, we have clocked a turnover of 2,117 crores, vis-a-vis 1,982 crores in the last financial year. Our profit before tax is 70 crores approximately, as compared to 86 crores in the corresponding quarter last year. And on full year basis, we have clocked a profit before tax of 152.5 crores as against 218.67 crores. Profit after tax is 46.75 crores, vis-a-vis 59.61 crores. And for the full year, the profit after tax is 104.81 crores, vis-a-vis 155 crores last year. So you would find there is decline in the profits in the quarter as well as in the full financial year, which is mainly attributable to to a couple of factors. I'll name them immediately. The first one is because in the last financial year, we had the benefit of selling sugar which was produced in season 2020-21, wherein the SAP was 25 rupees lesser. So in a sense, we have had benefit of selling lower cost, sugar where the cost of goods sold was lower. Secondly, we have had a dent in our recoveries. Our recoveries have been lesser, which is mainly because of the red rot infestation that has happened in the command area of our Faridpur unit, which is in the Bareilly district. And thirdly, the sugar prices throughout the year remained absolutely muted. They were range bound between 3,400 and 3,500. So, in a sense, there has been no commensurate increase in the selling price of sugar as compared to the cost of sugar sold. ISMA has day before yesterday come out with their latest estimate. They now estimate that the sugar production in the country is going to be approximately 32.8 million tons, which is after considering sacrifice of about 4 million tons. So, if we gross it up, that means the total production in the country is going to be 36.8 million tons, and which is significantly lesser than what gross level production we have had in the last crushing season, which was almost 39 million tons. The main reason for the downward revision in the estimated production and estimated production is because Maharashtra and Karnataka, they have been the mills are concluded their crushing operations. They closed in the month of March itself, and there has been lesser production and lesser recovery across. So I'll quickly go through the numbers. Total income, as I mentioned, is 534 crores, EBITDA of about 88 crores, vis-a-vis 102.3 crores in the corresponding quarter last year. On full year basis, our EBITDA is 229 crores, vis-a-vis 294 crores. So these are the main numbers. We have already gone through the PBT and the PAT numbers just as when I started my conversation with you. So some highlights. During this quarter, we sold 8.75 lakh quintals of sugar, which included export of about 66,000 quintals of sugar, as compared to 10.11 lakh quintals sugar that we sold in the corresponding quarter last year. So there has been a reduction of in the domestic market. There has been reduction of about 2 lakh quintals of sales in the domestic market, which is obviously because of lower which again is attributable to the lower carried forward stock that we have had. We are doing the full year, we have sold 42 lakh quintals of sugar, which includes export of about 10 lakh quintals. So which means in the domestic market, we have sold 32 lakh quintals, vis-a-vis 45.46 lakh quintals almost, which included 2.5 lakh quintals of sugar that we exported. On 31st March, we were carrying a stock of 10.61 lakh quintals as compared to 19.63 lakh quintals. So we have been able to moderate our stock by about 9 lakh quintals. As far as industrial alcohol is concerned, we sold 202 crore 95 lakh liters in this quarter as compared to 101.65 crores in the corresponding quarter last year. And on full year basis, we have sold 8.42 crore liters, vis-a-vis 5.57 crore liters that we sold in the full year last year. And nearly out of 8.42 crores, nearly 4.6 crores is what we have. 6 crores is crore liters what we sold is, which was made from juice as the feedstock. So during the season 2022-23, we have been using cane juice at both our distilleries to produce ethanol. B-heavy molasses, whatever we have generated, that is being generated across all our 3 units. Whatever B-heavy molasses generated is stored after, and it will be used during the off season for making ethanol at 2 of the distilleries. We have, the B-heavy molasses that we have generated has also been given for levy to fulfill our levy sale obligation. So that has been done. And both our distilleries are now optimally working at their rated capacity. To begin with, when we started our season, when we for the first time used juice as feedstock for making ethanol, we had some teething problems, but we have overcome them all. And now the production is, we are optimally producing, and we are getting the best efficiency parameters achieved also. And during the ongoing season so far till 31st March, we crushed about 302.71 lakh quintals and produced 24.02 lakh quintals of sugar. So up to 31st March, we have used 60.69 lakh quintals of sugar cane. This quantity of sugar cane crushed the juice was diverted for making ethanol. So if you see, nearly 20% juice has been used for, 20% cane crushed has been diverted for making ethanol. So this is in addition to what B-heavy molasses we are generating. So in a sense, we are sacrificing sugar production there also. So as per our crushing at the DD plant, which is in Bareilly district, that has been concluded, and crushing in both the other units is going on, and we expect to crush till the 3rd week of May, and we should have similar crushing numbers around 380 lakh quintals for the full season this time. Our cane payment track record is exemplary. We have cleared cane price payment dues up to 17th April, including full and final payment for our DD cane unit. So we are paying ahead of schedule. This is another important thing that I would like to highlight is the year-end the results in the final results also captures the extra cost of 8.95 crores that we incurred for retrospective in respect of retrospective revision of wages payable to employees under the wage board. So that has been one-off feature for the year, and we have received a quota of about 86,000 metric tons, out of which 50,000 metric tons we have exported. Rest we have swapped with domestic quota. We have started getting benefit of additional releases from April onwards, and our loan profile is lean and trim. We have term loans of 283.5 crores. All the loans are under have been negotiated at subsidized rates because of the government subsidies involved. We have our account has been long-term loans have been upgraded by ICRA. As far as rating is concerned, we are now rated AA minus. We were stuck at A plus for 5 years almost. So our rating has received a fillip. So we are upgraded now at AA minus. I would also like to talk about the sugar sector scenario, how it's panning out across the globe. I'm sure you must have the sugar prices, international sugar prices are at their highest now. Raw sugar prices have gone beyond 26 cents, and even white sugar prices are also at an all-time high. But the higher sugar prices internationally have found no resonance in the domestic market because of the restriction on quota, restriction on exports. So domestic prices were muted throughout the year, but from April onwards, the prices there has been a rebound in the domestic price. In the month of April, we have seen an average realization of 3,600 rupees a quintal, a little more than 3,600 rupees a quintal, and we expect that this trend should continue. We should have higher realization in the next 6 months at least. To talk about the next crushing season, it's too early to talk about the next crushing season, but we do expect that the crushing numbers may not be all that big because there is this lurking fear of El Nino factor, impacting the second half of 2023. So we will have to wait and watch. Once the sugar season starts, only then there will be clarity. And so far as UP is concerned, UP has been production has been steady, which UP should end up with a production of 10.5 million tons for the ongoing season. So there's been a lot of mills have been using sugarcane juice to make ethanol. So we look forward to the year 2023-24 with a sense of optimism. Thank you very much. I would now invite questions from you. I would be very happy to answer them all.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask question, please press star 1 now. Take our first question from the line of Rajesh Majumdar from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, sir. How are you?
All good, sir. So I had some questions. I'll just ask you one by one.
Sure.
My first question was the total sugarcane crushing volume you guided at 3,800 quintals is about the same as last year, right? So there is no growth in the cane volumes this year.
No, there has not been any growth, sir. So I'll tell you the exact numbers for financial year. Last financial year, 2021-22, we crushed 374 lakh quintals of sugarcane, and this financial year we crushed 382 lakh quintals of sugarcane. So there has been about 8 lakh quintals of increase in the sugarcane crushed. I'm talking about the financial year, not the season.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and what is the gross recovery?
2.2% increase in the sugarcane crush.
And what is the fall in the recovery rate, the gross recovery rate YOY also?
It's 2.15%. Gross recovery rate is 11.83% vis-a-vis 12.09%, so which is about 26 bits reduction in the recovery.
Okay, so my follow-up question is, we are looking at ISMA data saying that the UP production will be an increase over last year, but from the data that you are suggesting, if the recovery is falling for everyone, I mean, it's much more in Maharashtra probably than in UP, but even in UP, if the gross recovery is falling and there is more diversion, how will the production in UP overall increase? Or is there a difference in the areas?
No. There's difference in the areas. You will have to look at UP, all the three regions on standalone basis, West UP, Central UP, and then the Eastern UP. So there is some increase expected in some of the regions, as a result of which the crushing numbers and therefore the production numbers should be a little more than what it was for the last season. So it's not uniform across all the three regions.
So Eastern UP is where the increase is, I'm told. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. My last question is that in the alcohol business, what is the transfer pricing of molasses? Because we've seen a sharp jump in the numbers, but the EBIT margins have fallen sharply.
These are it's like this. I mean, as far as BAV molasses is concerned, the transfer price that we assign to BAV molasses is based on it's a derived price essentially, derived from the price prevailing for CAV molasses. Okay. But in this particular quarter, or at least from the start of the season, we have not been using BAV molasses. Whatever BAV molasses is being manufactured is produced and stored for use in the off season. As far as juice is concerned, our valuation is per quintal about 1,075 rupees a quintal. So essentially it translates to a cost of around 50 rupees a liter or so.
50 rupees a liter. Okay.
Yeah.
So so the margin would be much lower compared to BAV.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. But between the three, let me put it like this: the most profitable is BAV molasses. The second profitable is second in terms of ranking is juice, and third would be sugar at the given prices of sugar today.
Okay, so the entire alcohol sold in the fourth quarter is from juice. Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely.
And going forward, we'll see more. Okay, so going forward, we'll see more BAV and better margins. Is that a correct assumption?
Correct. Absolutely.
Oh. Thank you so much, sir. I'm done. I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Nitin Awasthi from InCred Equities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Very good, sir. How about you? Long time?
Long time, sir. All well, sir.
Yeah.
So a few questions from my side. Firstly, what is the carrying stock value per kg?
It's 3,172 rupees a quintal, sir. We are carrying about, how much did I say, about 10 lakh odd quintals of sugar as on the 31st March, 10.11. And it is valued at, if you ask me per ton valuation, it is 31,723 rupees.
Okay, and the same figure last year?
Sorry?
The same figure as on last year?
Offhand, I don't remember the figure what it was, but I can get back to you quickly on that. That is absolutely no problem.
Okay, was it substantially lower?
No, it wouldn't be substantially lower. It was definitely lower, but not so much lower because, yes, it would be lower because the recoveries have fallen in this particular financial year. So it would definitely be lower.
Okay, got it, sir. As per your presentation, the sugar you have sold during the quarter, you have got a realization of approximately 34 rupees a kg. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Sugar prices
And,
are very muted, sir. Very muted throughout the quarter.
Understood, sir. And you said in April there were 36. Now, my question here is that we saw government intervening in April. The government of India is releasing additional sugar into the market. Your comments on that move of the government? Do you think the government is on its toes, or it is not wanting the sugar prices to go up, or was it a planned release that was going to happen in April any which ways because of the summer heat?
See, it's a combination of all the factors that you have spoken about. Number one, it's a hot month, so I think they had to increase the releases because the prices were going up. So additional releases pumping into the market, it does have a dampening effect on the sentiment. But nonetheless, one should look at the the macro picture that we can see hereafter. We estimate the production of 32.8 million tons, opening stock of 7 million tons. This opening stock number has been recalibrated by the government. So 7 plus 32.8 is 39.86 million tons of export, 27.5 million tons of consumption. So we're looking at a number of only 6 million tons, and all factors are in favor of price rise. Number one, the international prices seem to be very good, and there is little uncertainty over the prospects of sugarcane and sugar production next season as well. So I think, and you see, I have also told this in my earlier conferences that I don't think a price up to 40 rupees should be of any discomfort to the government. I mean, we have seen in 2016-17 when the prices have gone up to 38 rupees, and yet there was no government intervention. Measures like pumping in some additional releases into the market, they are always in the government hand, but the macro picture states that, yes, there is scope for price rise.
Understood, sir. So like you mentioned about the international prices being high, there has been a revision, or there was not some clarity from how much Brazil would actually produce and how much it would put out in the market. Do you have any clarity on that front? How much could be the production in Brazil, and how much, what effect that would have on the international prices?
See, if we talk about season 2022-23, okay, the downward revision in the world production estimate has come mainly from the Asian countries. It's India which has contributed largely for the downward revision. See, when the season began, it was estimated that in 2022-23 globally there would be 4 million tons of surplus, assuming 37 million tons of production in Central South Brazil. So, but there has been a reduction in the production estimate from Asian countries, which has brought about this lowering of the production numbers, and we see 2022-23 being virtually balanced. Now, the talk is that the next season Brazil may see some increased production, but it's difficult to prophesize at this point in time because it will all depend on the tax. How does Brazil tax gasoline? Whether it makes sense for the Brazilians to move a little more towards ethanol. So there are a host of factors which would play a critical role next season.
Understood, sir. Understood. So last question from my side. As per the presentation, we have seen very low margins compared to last year in the ethanol segment. And you have mentioned that this is because last year you had ethanol which was made from molasses, whereas this year you had ethanol made from juice.
Correct.
Now, given that a lot of capacity of juice has come up and the government did want at some point of time direct juice to become a main route, and companies have also set up substantial capacity, including yogurt sets. Do you see any price increase, any scope of price increase in the juice route?
Yes. See, there is no denying the fact that at the given price of ethanol, the margins it's profitable, but the margins do come under pressure. Number one. Number two, the margins appear to be lower also because the recoveries have been lower. So, eventually it That is what is the fermentable content in the molasses or the juice, which is what matters. So there is lesser content of sugar, fermentable content in the sugar. Obviously, the ethanol recoveries also are going to be lower. Number three, yes, we have represented to the government in various forums that if you want a bigger sacrifice of sugar production to happen in favor of ethanol, now this is the area which needs to be focused upon. This is ethanol price of using sugarcane juice as the feedstock, that needs to be increased. And we strongly believe that our request should be considered by the government favorably.
Understood, sir. Thank you so much for answering the questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a next question from the line of Nikhil Gada from Abacus Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thanks for the opportunity.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
First class, sir. Tell me.
Yeah, sir. I had a couple of questions. Firstly, could you help us with the current year FY23? How much of crushing was done through the B heavy and how much was done through the juice route?
See, the entire in this season. Okay, let's talk about the
fiscal year.
Yeah, FY we crushed 382 lakh quintals of sugarcane. Okay, and we started making use of juice only from the current season onwards. And I have given that number, 60.69 lakh quintals of sugarcane juice, sugar was diverted for conversion to ethanol via the juice route. Okay, so 382 minus 60, so which is about 322 lakh quintals was what was crushed. And on the entire 322 lakh quintals, we have generated BAV
around
molasses.
16% or 15 and a half, 16.
Yes. So, insofar as fiscal is concerned, yes, this is the number. But if you talk about the season per se, up to 31st of December, we've done 20% on juice, and the rest is by generating BAV molasses.
And by 31st of March, so then for the season?
Yeah, I'm talking about 31st of March. Up to 31st March, in this particular season, we crushed 302 lakh quintals, and we have diverted 60.69 lakh quintals of sugarcane for making ethanol. So, which means roughly 20%. But on the entire season, it may not be 20%. It will be lesser because our DD plant has closed crushing operations on the 14th of April, where we were using juice for making ethanol. So, whereas in the DN plant, we are still continuing till the end of the season. We will be using juice for making ethanol in the distillery there. But in the other two plants, in the third plant, we are generating only B-heavy molasses.
Understood.
So this number of 20% would come down. It would be somewhere around 18% or so, 18 or 19%.
Understood, sir. So just an extension to this question. So for FY24, because now that the overall inventory that we have of sugar has seen a sizable reduction, how do you think this number will vary for us for FY24? Assuming that government does not change the rate for juice route.
No, you see, the government, let me tell you, we are optimistic. We are hopeful that government will change the rate for the cane juice. But if your question is, what if the sugar prices go very high and the ethanol prices remain the same, the juice to ethanol prices remain the same, what will be our strategy?
Right.
Now, insofar as season 22-23 is concerned, it's all over. Whatever, because if at all there is going to be any increase in the juice to ethanol price, it will be only from the next year onwards, from November onwards. Okay. So whatever has been done in this season has been done and over. Now, assuming the same scenario next year, that sugar prices, let's say, assume are more than 3,700 or 3,800 or so, whereas ethanol prices remain the same. But we would like to take a very holistic picture. We would like to go we would like to take a very macro stance on this in the sense that we would still continue with juice, because if all of us think alike and stop using juice for making ethanol, I think we will end up with surplus sugar production in the country, and then that will trigger a downfall in the sugar prices.
Understood. So basically, this 18-20% crushing through juice route is something which we should work with.
Absolutely.
Understood. And so my next question is, in terms of the availability of B-heavy molasses, if I compare from 23 to 24 perspective, can you help us with what kind of increase we have seen in the molasses availability, and what kind of, we are valuing that molasses at?
See, sorry, your question is how do we foresee for 23-24, is it?
No, so currently, my question was from versus 22 to 23. How has this inventory changed?
Okay. So, molasses inventory has obviously gone up because we are generating molasses across the 3 units. Last year, in fact, in the last crushing season, we had only that much molasses generation of B-heavy, which was required for our one distillery and for the startup of the second distillery. But now we are generating B-heavy molasses. So obviously the stock, I'll just tell you one moment, give me a moment how much molasses we were carrying. Just a second. So we were carrying, one moment, I'll tell you. Closing stock of molasses. So we had a lot of molasses stock, but nearly we were carrying a stock of nearly 7 lakh quintals of B-heavy molasses, and the number was significantly lesser on the same day last quarter. Now going forward, our strategy will be the same, but what we do expect some changes is that as compared to 380 lakh quintals of sugar that we crushed in the last fiscal, in the coming fiscal we should be crushing more. I mean, not in 23-24, but definitely as 24-25, we should be targeting a crush of about 400 to 425 lakh quintals. So when we do that, our B-heavy molasses generation will also be higher, and we will be instead of 325 days of distillery operation, we should be running the distilleries for 350 days at least.
Understood, sir. The reason to ask that number, because I wanted to understand the change in inventory just because of the molasses from 22. Because that would be significant if I am not wrong.
I often don't have the number of molasses stock for 21-22, but I can get back to you on that separately.
Sure, no problem, sir. Sure. Thank you for answering all my questions. I'll come back in the queue. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. We take a next question from the line of Shailesh Kanani from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, sir. I'm doing fine. Sir, one thing on sugar volumes front, how we have done around 0.42 million tons in FY23. How would you see numbers for FY24 and 25, and where do we see growth on the volume front for sugar division?
So 23-24, because let's talk about the
आपण ज्या व्यक्तीशी बोलत आहात त्यांनी
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's talk about the fiscal. There may not be any significant increase in the crushing numbers, and therefore, since we are diverting more juice for ethanol, the production number, obviously, the sales and production number will come down. But 24-25 and fiscal 24-25, where we will have the benefit of larger crushing in the season 23-24 also, and 24-25 also, we should see increased production numbers as well as increased sugar sale number also. So if we look at it, for example, I'll tell you, in this particular season, we have up to 31st March, okay? We have produced only 24.02 lakh quintals of sugar.
Okay.
We crushed 302 lakh quintals of sugar. We have produced only 24.202 lakh quintals of sugar. So obviously this number is progressively there is a reduction in the sugar production number and hence the sugar sales number as well.
And sir, wouldn't our 25 estimate would be depending upon good monsoon or better yields and recovery, because Western UP has seen this red rot diseases and Eastern UP had seen effect of that for nearly 2 years in their yields and recovery. So are we expecting better yields and recovery going ahead?
See, my optimism comes from the fact that, in our Bareilly unit where we have seen a crushing of only 110 lakh quintals in this season, and the season is concluded already. Here, we have had, as far as supplies are concerned, we have had more than 96% of that variety 0238, a substantial part of which was red rot infected. Okay. So obviously, farmers have also suffered insofar as yield is concerned, and the dent in the recovery that we have seen is also predominantly because of this reason. Okay. Now, we will see this 90% number we expect, and we worked on that, and we on the basis of the data that is already available with us, we see this number coming down from 96% to about 66 to 70% maximum. So we will have new varieties in place, and additionally we are also we have intensified our efforts to protect this variety. So wherever is there, we are we are applying some new fungicides, and the benefits seem palpable, and we do expect that both in terms of yield and also in terms of recovery, there wouldn't be any kind of disappointment.
And so what is the time frame when you said this 96% will come down to around 66%, that is 30% improvement? That is for next year you are saying?
Next season supplies, I'm talking about next season supplies.
So not for the current season, starting from October, for the next year you're saying?
Yeah, I'm talking about October to June.
October to, okay.
October 20.
So that,
I'm talking about October.
So that would be a decent improvement. Yeah.
96% to about 70%. So 66 to 70% on one hand, and secondly, our efforts are on to protect this 238 variety in whichever or whatever manner possible.
Fair enough. Sir, my second question was with respect to margins. When you said the profitability in B heavy molasses is great, can you just give us some ballpark number, what kind of EBIT margins we are talking about here for B heavy versus juice?
See, I would say collectively for the distillery, we should have a EBIT margin of around 18 to 20%. So if this is around, here we have had a margin of about 12%, so there the margin is at least 23-24%.
So that would be on an ideal year when we have around good recovery levels. That is what you're saying, 18 to 20%.
Yes, 18 to 20%. Yes, when we have recovered the lost ground, then we should have 18 to 20% margin on distillery segment.
And if that, then there is a combination between juice and B heavy, right? So it is 18 to 20%.
Nearly 6 crores of juice and 5 crores of 6 to. 6 plus crores of juice and 4 plus of B heavy.
So is it fair to assume that this quarter EBIT margins of around 10% for the distillery division is primarily due to lower recoveries rather than juice per se, right?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. See, it's absolutely that. It's because of that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was the last question from my side. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Prashant Biyani from Elara Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am good, sir. How are you doing?
First class, sir. Tell me, sir.
Sir, for the current crushing season, till when do you think can the crushing continue?
One unit is already concluded on the 14th of May. The other two units in Bijnor district, they will continue their crushing operations till the third week, maybe around the 20th of May or so is the indicative date that we have got when they will close their crushing operation.
Okay. And sir, what would be our closing ethanol inventory at the end of FY23?
Not much. We've been going hand to mouth, selling it immediately.
Okay.
Less than 5 lakh liters.
Okay. And sir, could you repeat?
You want the exact number? I'll tell you one moment.
Yeah.
So we will have something in the process also. So if you add all together, it will be about 10 lakh liters.
Okay. And sir, could you repeat the number for molasses inventory, please?
I told it's about 7 lakh quintals.
7 lakh quintals.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, for next year, how much crushing would we be targeting? If some color can be shared on that.
Fiscal?
Yes.
Fiscal should be around the same, but season should be more.
Okay,
23-24 should be the same because you see we concluded our crushing operations around the same time as we have been in 21-22 season also we concluded our crushing operations sometime in the third week of May. So yeah. We will have a similar date this time around. So April onwards the crushing numbers will be more or less the same, and from the start of the season to March 31st you get the same number of days, so same amount of crushing. But yes, there is one difference this year. We will have increased crushing capacity at our DN plant, so which is about 5 to 600 metric tons. So we should have some improvement in the crushing numbers.
So 400 can we reach by next year?
Yes, not fiscal.
Yeah, even sugar season wise?
Sugar season, yes, 400 plus. Yes.
Okay, and sir, if we are targeting around 11 crore liter of ethanol, then sir, just for the sake of discussion, moving aside the government control on sugar export, but would we be in a position to export sugar? Would this be a position of stock out next year?
Isn't that to be a very happy position to be in?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yes, we will have to wait and see how much government decides. Now, for example, when this quota for the current season was announced of 60 lakh tons, initially we had contracted to sell about 50,000 metric tons, which we did. We produced raw sugar and we exported. But for the balance quantity, we swapped it in favor of domestic quota. So we will wait and see, which is more profitable. What is does one get any kind of a premium in swapping the quota? So those are the factors which we will see, and we will accordingly take a call.
Okay. But the government typically will want companies to keep minimum quantity of sugar. So I mean, what will typically happen if some company don't have any sugar left? Maybe or if there is only 1 month of.
It's not like that. You see, they will decide on a countrywide basis. Now, for example, if next year we assume after diversion the production is going to be, let me be very pessimistic in the sense. Let me say after diversion for ethanol the production is only 31 million tons. Yet you have about 3.5 million tons of surplus sugar in the country. So there is always room for export. And at such given small surplus coming from India, international prices should be good, and whatever we export, we should be able to make good money out of it.
And sir, on this juice-based ethanol, over and above the transfer price of 50 rupees per liter, how much could be the conversion cost?
No, the you see, it's about 7-8 rupees a liter. That's the conversion cost.
So net the costing should be around 57, 58 for this.
55 optimally. 55 is what we should be targeting.
Okay. And next year, we should target around 11 crore liters of ethanol?
Absolutely. Yes.
And sir, what would be the plans on capacity expansion and how much do we plan to invest?
No, we have already done, we are doing small capexes which will result in increase in our crushing capacity at our Dwarikesh Nagar unit. Because that is where we see the crushing operations going on till the end of May. So we will be crushing at a faster pace. And, presently, you see, we see more scope in increasing the cane availability. And our target is that, for example, this DD unit, the Dham unit in Bareilly district, it closed crushing operations on the 14th of April. Now, here is where we are targeting additional cane, mobilization of additional cane, and here is where we think we can get more cane and we can run this unit from the present middle of April till at least the end of April or the first or the second week of May. So we have capacity available at our Dwarikesh Dham unit. All we need to do is mobilize more cane for that particular unit.
Right. And sir, how much are we investing for expanding the crushing capacity at DN?
Not much, about 25-30 crores. That's it. Not much.
Okay. And sir, what would be the maintenance capex?
Every year it's about the same actually. We end up incurring about 20-25 crores of maintenance capex. So you don't need to really call it maintenance capex. It's mostly for enhancement of efficiencies, debottlenecking operations wherever required. The general maintenance is, of course, so it's a combination of both the regular maintenance, the preventive maintenance, plus efficiency enhancement, altogether about 29-30 crores or so.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That's it from my side.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Rajesh Majumdar from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
So just a follow-up question. Do you see the fall in the crop as a threat for the blending program, because the government has already cut down the blending volumes from 4.5 to 4 million tons, and going forward, if there is an El Nino impact this year as well, is there a serious threat of the blending program and subsequent alcohol volumes for our companies thereof?
Sir, it's a catch-22 situation. I wouldn't like to be in the government shoes to visualize this kind of situation. See, in a worst situation also, the production wouldn't fall substantially. Maybe 1 million or 2 million tons of production fall can be expected, not much, if El Nino really does impact. In fact, there's another, meteorological department has predicted normal monsoons, but assuming the worst, there could be a reduction of about 1 million or 2 million tons. So this ethanol blending program is irreversible. I don't think, once in 5 years, these kind of downward swings are expected and to be factored for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Sanjay Manyal from ICICI Direct. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Just one thing, your current inventory is somewhere around 106,000, and I believe from 1st April till the end of season, you at best will produce somewhere around 60 to 70,000 odd tons, I believe. And so given the fact that your inventory would be 1,80,000 tons, this is at best you will exhaust your inventory by August or maybe mid of September. So in the peak, in the time when probably country level sugar inventory would be the lowest or the prices would be the best, you might be sort of exhaust with the inventory. Am I right in my assessment over here?
Sir, no. I'll tell you. You see, if there is a drag in our production and there is a drag in our inventory level, obviously the levels are going to be fixed by the government. And You see the price rise, the benefit of increased prices available mostly till the month of September. There is a overhang of the crushing operation starting for the next year. So already, we've seen in the past from October onwards, the prices are always little depressed and they start getting better only after the month of March. So I don't think we will be in a situation where we will review the fact that we don't have stock and the prices are very good. I don't see such a situation arising.
Okay. Right. Sir, just one more thing on the
Sure.
on the gross recovery front. So what would be how much it is down from the peak level, if I may ask?
So from the last fiscal to this fiscal, the recovery is down by 26 basis points. So we are actually working very hard on this. We are trying to see that we recover the lost ground and we make up. Varietal balance is one thing which we are working upon, and so I think in the next crushing season we should see some rebound.
So this 26 basis point is this year, but I think we lost somewhere around 15-20 basis point last year as well.
Sorry. So if you compare it with the previous financial year, yes, the decline is almost 40 basis points. Yes.
40 basis points. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So we will not be happy with recovering only 26 basis points. We'll be working towards recovering to get back to our days of glory when we clocked our best recovery.
Sir, but with the change in the variety, do you think that those newer variety can match the recovery of CO023?
Yes, absolutely, sir. The results are fantastic. The varieties are as good as 238 or maybe better than 238. But we are also simultaneously, I explained to one of the participants that we are also working towards protecting this 238 variety. I mean, it's just not that we have given it up that, okay, this variety is red rot infested, nothing can be done. So this 66 to 70% will continue to be that variety and it will be red rot infested. We are trying to educate the farmers. We are trying to tell them to apply fertilizers in the right doses. We are trying to guide them, educate them on raccoon management. We are taking various steps to see that we recover our lost. We recover our recovery.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Ria from Equitas Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello. Thank you for taking my question. My first question is in regards to ethanol. So what would be the break-even price that we decide for sugar versus juice?
3,700, ma'am. At the given price, anything about 3,700 is profitable to go.
Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Juice to ethanol. Hello?
Yes.
So I'm sorry to interrupt. This is the operator. So your audio is not coming very clear.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying was 37 is the threshold price, sugar price, at the given ethanol price from juice to ethanol, and anything above that, sugar is profitable. Below that, juice to ethanol is profitable.
Okay. And in terms of government increasing the release quota, I think for May also just 24 lakh tons. So do we expect that the consumption to be higher than 27 million ton, which is estimated in the sugar balance sheet, domestic balance sheet?
I think we should have a production of consumption of about 27.5 million tons. Typically, April, May, June, these are very hot months, so I don't see it will have any kind of pressure on the sugar selling prices. Temporarily, yes. On a sustained basis, no.
Okay. And in terms of smaller mills and all, is it a possibility that sugar is exported through illegal means for unorganized mills?
No, I am not aware of any such thing, ma'am. I'm not aware. So
okay.
Something I'm not aware, I would not be able to comment.
Okay. And in terms of number of days for crushing, this sugar season is higher as compared to last sugar season, if I'm not wrong.
No, it's going to be more or less the same because we're going to crush the same quantity and there has been no increase or decrease in the, there's been no increase actually in the crushing rate. So we will have similar number of working days.
Okay. And in terms of the monsoon, the untimely monsoon which happened lately, what is the impact and in which parts of UP do we see this impact being more prevalent?
No, it's impacted the entire UP. Actually, the October rains have not been good for the sugarcane crop, which is why we have seen some drop in the yield as well as the recovery. So, unfortunately, any rains after the month of maybe towards the end of September or in the month of October is not good. What is really good is the June, July, August rains for the sugar crop.
Right. And currently, I think even in the month of February, March, there was a short span of rain. So,
that's good. That is good. That's encouraging, actually. So, it's the right amount of moisture goes into the soil, so it's generally good.
And in terms of ethanol, so juice-based, since you explained that, the total cost for us on an overall basis, the procurement, the transfer price plus my conversion cost is around 57. What would be the same for B-heavy molasses? The transfer price?
It will be less than 50 rupees, ma'am. I mean, the total cost would be less than 50 rupees, 48 to 50 rupees.
Okay.
So it all depends on the kind of fermentable sugar that is contained in the molasses, but it will be definitely less than 50 rupees.
Okay. And based on the current prices, based on the basically Q4, what was the proportion of B-heavy and what was the proportion of juice-based?
Everything was juice. Everything was juice to ethanol. See, like I explained, the model that we follow is we do juice to ethanol during season, and during off season we do ethanol from B-heavy molasses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And crushing numbers for next year would be more or less same, right?
Yeah, more or less same.
This is financial year or?
I'm talking about financial year. Season numbers should be much better.
Okay.
Yeah, because season, part of the season is going to fall into, it's going to spill over to the next financial year. So there we expect some improvement in the numbers, but fiscal year, yes, more or less the same numbers.
And going forward, since you mentioned that the 238 cane variety would be almost around 60%, do we see that this red rot thing would extend over the next 1.5 years?
It's already there, ma'am. It's red rot menace is already there. So it's it's assumed the form of an epidemic. So it's there all over and more prominently in the east and the central UP. So we have not seen the impact of red rot in our command areas of DN and DP unit, but it is very much there in the DD unit. So we see it across all the supplies. So we've been educating the farmers to approve the clumps wherever there is red rot affected cane grown. We are trying to educate them for the ratoon management. We are trying to make them use the right there are some new fungicides which are coming to the market, so we are helping them apply all that, and we are trying to protect variety 238 also as far as possible, but replacement plan is definitely on.
Okay. And in terms of recovery next year, do you expect it to improve more than 60 basis points which you have lost?
No, not 50 basis points. There will be definitely improvement, but we will have to wait and see, ma'am. So we are targeting significant improvement in the recovery, but we will have to wait and see. I cannot immediately comment on what recovery, what improvements do we get.
Right. And in terms of international markets, what is the current situation in Brazil, Thailand, Pakistan?
International market is very good. The prices are beyond 26 cents a pound.
Production, sorry.
So, 22-23 season is a virtually balanced season with no surplus and no deficit. 23-24 is expected to be a surplus season, but not a substantial surplus. If at all there is surplus, it will be around 2 million tons of surplus. Now, this surplus can swing. These numbers can swing either ways, So it will all depend on how much, Brazil will produce and India. These are the two key geographies which produce sugar. So eventual number will. It's very difficult to talk about it right now. But as of now, the experts, the trade houses, etc., they predict an estimate. I mean, they forecast an estimate of production surplus of about 2 million tons.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the question and answer session, and I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Vijay Banka for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, friends. Thank you for participating in this earning calls conference. The questions that you have asked, it encourages us to improve our performances. We challenge ourselves to see that there is improvement, so that we can. Not that we have spoken on the back foot, but yes, we can talk more about improved recoveries, etc. In the future earning calls. But I thank you very much for the trust and confidence that you have reposed in our company. We look forward to engaging with you in the times to come. I would request my colleague, Mr. Maheshwari, to say a few words.
I thank all the participants for joining the earning call and then involved in active participation and all. We look forward to you meeting again in the next earning call. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Dolat Capital, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining with us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you. Thank you.